benchmark of 2015, and then the benchmark of last year. So in every sector, double. If you look at education, the investment has more than doubled. If you look at roads and bridges, about one. Health and family welfare is the biggest. In fact, in health, we are the only state in the country which spends about 9% of our GSDP on health. So that's the kind of number we have, and that's mandated. We are the only state which spends this. So health has grown by more than twice. Then if we look at a sector like THE, so the expenditure has doubled. So then there is a sector like sports and youth affairs. If you look at the last column, more than 3 times the expenditure, about 3 times. So these are the kind of growths we have seen, and that is what is what we see in the field. I'm sure when we travel to villages, better roads, more PHCs, more sports facilities, all this is the result of this. Next. So this is of last year's actuals, which are the top 10 departments for everybody to have an understanding. So which are the departments where the biggest expenditure is being done. Again, as we would have guessed, education is the big department. Of course, this one includes salaries also. That's why education is the big department. Health is a big department because again they have a huge workforce. Then public works is a very big department. They spend about 2,000 crores out of our 21,000 crores of expenditure. Planning, because many of the projects are implemented through planning. Power is a very important sector. About 1,200 crores of expenditure. Police, again 1,200 crores. So these are the critical sectors. Next. So this is again the capital outlay in the top 10 departments. So the previous slide showed what is the total expenditure. This is the capital expenditure, which means the previous slide showed including salaries and all. This is only on projects. So which are the departments where they are investing the maximum? Again, one is PWD, number 2 is power, then it is planning, then it is urban affairs, and the list goes on. So these are the ones where big capital expenditure is being made. Next. So, and in addition to capital expenditure, I'm sure you'll also all appreciate that over the last 3-4 years, we have also been able to launch several beneficiary-oriented programs. So these are, many of these programs are new programs, whether it is a program like Focus, whether it is a program like CM Elevate, where already we have spent about 100 crores, whether it's a program like Skills Meghalaya, where about 60 crores has been spent in skilling close to about 20,000 people just in the last 1 year. So all these programs, MHIS is today the largest program in the state. About 210 crores is the allocation for MHIS. So all these beneficiary-oriented programs are also implemented thanks to the increased availability of resources. Next. So this is the last slide. So basically the purpose as we look at it, sir. So we are expecting from the House comments on what are the sectoral priorities. Are there things that we need to prioritize? How do we improve existing schemes? Are there any new schemes that can be taken up? Are there any ideas on revenue augmentation and last mile service delivery? So these are some of the things which we would like to hear from the House. I conclude it here. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the recap on the major trends in the state and expenditure of the state over the years and also of 23-24 and the present report. Now, as we move on, I request our Honourable Chief Minister
wonderful suggestions that could come from the people that could be game changer. And therefore, without giving that opportunity to all of you, it would be really unfair for us to move forward in the way we do. And that is really what the purpose of today's program is. And we are here to listen to more to all of you. Again, I do apologize that we may not be able to take everybody's questions, but of course you can give it to us in writing and hand it over to us. And even on Facebook, whoever is giving suggestions, we will be noting down all. So you can always just comment. I will reply to some of them while we go ahead with this consultation. And so that's really what the purpose is. You have seen the trend for the last 4 to 5 years, and really the way things are moving forward, thanks to all the support from Government of India, and of course, very importantly, thanks to the work of the team. You see, the funds are available in Delhi, but it requires us to be having the capacity to absorb the funds and utilize the funds and present it again to Government of India to be then able to get more funds. And in the last many years, the government machinery has been able to do that. The capacity to absorb, to implement has gone up in Meghalaya. The same team, the same people, but we just done things in a much better manner. Of course, there's lots more to be done. I'm not saying that everything is perfect, but we are definitely on the right path. And we need to continue this momentum and growth. As you can see, the 16.2% is the growth rate in the last, which is higher than the national average. And we expect this to further move forward. But as I said, while this growth story continues, I think the story is incomplete without the involvement of the citizens of our state. And that is why we have called this meeting. So I will not speak much. As I said, we are here more to listen to all of you and to take down your suggestions and to also maybe answer to some of the queries and concerns that you may have. So with this remarks from my side, we open the the consultation, pre-budget consultation to all of you, and look forward to the suggestions from your side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, we will move forward now to the next most important part of this meeting is the interaction now, where we will hear your views, your suggestions and your inputs on the state budget 25-26. While going on, I would request the invitees to please state your name and also the organization that you are representing, so that we'll be able to get your responses. Now the floor is open. You can start by giving your inputs one by one. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, sir, we know that the vertical expanses of the economic activity as well as the horizontal expansions of the economic activity has is slow over the years. As a result, the tax base has remained unregulated. We have to admit that. So, given the fact that we have two core issues or the problems that the state needs to address, first one is your high public debt liability. The second one is the high fiscal deficit. So on both these counts, we have performed very badly during the previous years. So sir, we have failed to achieve the targeted liability to GSDP ratio of 28% set by the Meghalaya Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management, that is MFRBM Act 2006. So where the total liability, public debt estimates liability, it stands at 37.9%. This is the estimated figure of the last year. So therefore, we need to do something to reduce this public debt.
Can you put up the slide for the fiscal deficit? Finance Commission resolution.
Yeah, please continue, sorry.
Yeah, you want to say something? Because we'll show you the fiscal deficit and we'll explain to you exactly how it goes and why, what has happened and what we're going to do.
So, given the fact that we have limited tax base, because the tax base, it always depends on the economic, expanded economic activity that a particular state is carrying.
Sir, may I request you, sir, please to kindly introduce yourself, your name and the organization that you're representing?
So I am Professor Giri from Department of Economics, Nehru, Ceylon. So that, so as a result of which the tax base of the various taxes has remained almost more or less static or constant over a period of time. So therefore, whatever mobilizations or resources that we would like to do, we'll have to, accordingly, we'll have to restructure our taxes in terms of tax rate or in terms of bringing some new commodities under the tax rate of the existing taxes.
When you say tax, which tax are you referring to?
I'll come to that specific tax. So your home tax revenue, as you saw, that it stands at 16% of the total tax revenue, if I have understood it correctly. So that needs to be enhanced.
No, it's 16% growth.
For 16%, yes.
It's not, yeah, it's not that.
You said that your
If you look at the
growth rate is 16.2%, then we have not translated that some portions of the growth rate into the realizations of the tax rate. So mobilization of the revenue for growth rate is at 16.2% over the years. So if you look at the budget papers, our revenue has not increased in the same proportions or in the same directions.
It has, that's why it's 16% growth.
It is expected that your total tax revenue also should increase, if to certain extent, may not be in the same proportion, may not be in the same direction.
I don't know if you saw that slide. I think you just go back. I don't know, own revenue. Yeah, this one. No, that one. What is his name? Sorry, Professor, what is his name again? Mishraji. No, not receipts, releases, the own tax. Next slide. Yeah, this one. This is the growth of the tax, the actual number. 2018, financial year 2018, the FY18 was 1,450 crores. Look at the columns, the graph, the bar chart. It was 1,450 crores in 2018. Today, into financial year 2024, we are 3,217. If this is not actual conversion in terms of tax collection, then what is, I don't know. These are the actual numbers going from 1,450 crores today to 3,217 crores in a matter of 6 years. We have doubled our tax collection of our own revenue receipts.
I don't know whether it is actual figure.
This is actual figure. This is actual. These are AG figures.
Okay. Then,
Yeah.
I think then I withdraw my.
Exactly. Thank you so much. This is the reason for this budget consultation, is to clarify these issues. But let's go to the.
Sir, I will not get confused.
Yeah.
So coming to the individual taxes, your state excise duty, as per the data that you are giving on the website, so it constitutes 13% of the total tax revenue. And your sales tax, it constitutes near about 25% of the total tax, of the own tax revenue, own tax revenue, total tax revenue. So in this case, so what I feel that there are leakages in the state excise duties.
Again, I'll draw your attention to the numbers. Just look at the green section in the chart. When we took over in 2018, the revenue of excise was 199. Can you see the column that says 1450? In that 1450, the green part is the excise revenue. It was 199, if you can see in the bar. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. So that 199 has touched 458 in matter of 6 years, triple almost. Well, at least double, 2.5 times. The increase of excise has gone up from 199 crores today to 458 crores. And I just had a revenue meeting. We're expected to cross 520 crores this year itself. So if this is not again increase of revenue, then what else is?
Yes, sir. So I'll come-
And so we are plugging all the loopholes. We have been able to, and you can see the jump that took place from 276 to 375 that took place in 2020 to 2021. So you're seeing a constant growth in the increase of the excise revenue. And today, as I said, from 199 in 2018, it's 242, it's 458 last year. I expect this year to cross 500 crores. So that is how the excise revenue, our own tax has gone up.
But my experience shows there is a black market for the liquors and the beverages. It exists in Meghalaya, whether you admit it or not admit it.
No, it's not a question of me admitting, not admitting. The process of plugging the loopholes is a continuous process. Now, if you find some shop somewhere that's selling and then you say okay, that becomes the normal process, I think that would be over, assessing the situation.
Okay.
I think the numbers here prove that from 199 to go to 500 crores in a matter of 6 years reflects the commitment of this government to plug the loopholes that are there, and results and numbers are showing that our efforts are yielding results where almost our excise revenue has tripled, almost close to tripled in the last 6 years.
So, you know,
Is there room for improvement? Absolutely there is.
So there-
We will work. But to say that there is nothing happening is wrong. The numbers are showing that we are going from 199 crores today to 458 crores in excise to cross 500 crores this year is reflection of the kind of policies and commitment that this government is showing.
so there exists some improvement, needs some
No
improvement.
doubt. So you please tell us what?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like how to do it.
Why can't we have a Meghalaya beverages corporations like most of the states, like West Bengal, Odisha, Bihar, and Kerala? So they have improved upon the supply chain management system. They have improved upon what you call the mobilizations of additional resources, because the state becomes the sole distributor of liquor and beverages. So in that case, there will be no leakages as far as the excise duty or what you call the other duties that have been levied on those things.
We can look at that option. We will explore that option. No doubt, we'll explore that option. But I'll tell you very frankly, the main player for ensuring that we are able to minimize the leakages is actually technology. So we have to implement the technology in a correct manner to monitor every movement that comes in and every time the sale takes place. If that monitoring can be done at a very, very precise rate, which is what we've been doing. You see, we have removed the layers of collection. We have centralized the collection process so that there is not many layers of collection taking place. That's what actually led to it. I don't want to go into details. There are too many discussions to take place. But whether the state government runs it, whether the bonds run it, whoever runs it, the chance of leakage can always be there if we don't have proper monitoring and proper technology to implement and monitor every single movement that's taking place. So we will definitely explore the option that you gave. We will see which is going to be better, and and we'll see this. But suggestion is good. Definitely.
Then, sir, out of the motor vehicle tax, it will take out the road tax portions of that. So instead of charging for 10 years at a go, when the persons purchase a vehicle, if you can make it every 2 years, every 1 year, the road tax you have to pay, then it will restrict also the consumption of the vehicle in the state, because given the fact that we have lots of traffic congestions and pollutions that is taking place, so, and it will also help in mobilizing some additional resources year-wise.
Okay.
Then,
We can examine.
over and above to that, if it is possible to put a cess on pollutions, so that will be another source of revenue to the state government, and it may restrict the flying of the vehicles on the roads of the states here and there, so because it will put a restrictions on the vehicular movements. Then, sir, Meghalaya is what you call is a tourist hotspot. Every year, so many tourists visit the state. So in that case, may I suggest that why can't we put a tax? I will call it an exit tax on all the commercial vehicles which will exit from a country, that which carries the passengers who come to visit Ceylon. So in that case, it also can improve or add on to the resource mobilization to a certain extent. Why not entry tax? Because it will have its own differences in terms of including the prices, price impact and other things, and when the vehicles go out. So that is one way if we put the exit tax on the vehicles. Because we can argue that yes, we welcome the tourists, we want them to stay for more times in the state, but since they are going back, so they should pay. So these are the, now for the time being, I have this, for these suggestions for the, and in addition to this, so time has come that we should restructure our various taxes, and we should reconsider bringing some new commodities to the tax rate, and we should reconsider.
What do you mean by new commodities to the tax rate?
Sir, there are n number of commodities. The taxes do not cover all the n number of commodities. So out of the n number of commodities, we have suppose say IF commodity or IF commodity or J commodity. We are not including under the tax rate all the commodities that means on which a tax is being levied. So in that case, we should find out the ways and means. If it is possible to bring some more commodities which have not yet come under the tax rate, or the activities which have not yet.
You mean from GST point of view? You're talking about direct tax or indirect tax? You mean GST, that means. So GST taxes the products. This is a continuous process. The GST council is there, which I'm a member of. And we continuously take the aspects, but this is something that's decided at the GST council level. So of course, state budget, I can put these proposals. So if you have the list of those products which are not under the GST council right now, I'll be happy to take it up. I mean, which are not under the GST tax regime, I'll be happy to take it up. But as I said, for us to state to impose, that is not possible. It is imposed at the GST council. This is for knowledge of everybody. And the tax base that Professor has been talking about, the tax base that is increased, again, this is the direct tax that we get. This is income tax and the corporate tax that comes in. This is the collection that is done by the central government and which is then further distributed to the states, to the finance commission.
No, sir.
Yes, it is.
The tax base may be consumptions.
That is, no. Okay.
The productions.
No.
The income that we have.
That's indirect tax then. The consumption-based taxes are indirect taxes. So let's not confuse the people. Because when you say widen the tax base, it is widening of tax base is normally related to income tax. No, indirect taxes is completely consumption-based GST. Those are products which I've already answered. But when we say increase in the tax base, we normally indicate to the income tax. There was a time when the income tax was only 2% of the public used to pay income tax. And then now slowly and steadily with the central government, taking measures, that tax base has gone up and more tax collection is taking place. And that is where the revenue and the finance commission devolution is going up, central tax share is going up. So that's a part. So you have to remember there are two parts to tax. The tax base can be increased in both. You're right. It can be increased in income tax, it can be increased in consumption. I've already replied to a consumption tax base increase, which is done by GST Council. Now I'm replying to the income tax base increase, which is a direct tax, which is done by central government. So those processes are not directly within our jurisdiction in one way. The central government will work on both. The increase in the tax base, whether it's consumption, whether it's income tax, corporate tax, both are aspects that are led or dealt by the central government ministry, by the GST Council. And that's the area that is not completely, as I said, in our jurisdiction, our control. But it's a suggestion and we can take it up.
I am talking about the tax base of the indirect taxes.
That means consumption.
State tax.
So I replied to that already when I said GST. So the GST Council decides that. So there's a process. So different products, like that day, there was a meme on the popcorns and the caramel thing. So those products were brought in. So this process of including different kind of products under the GST Council under the GST is taken up at the GST Council level. So while your suggestion is good, I will put it up at the GST Council meeting. But what I'm saying is it's not a decision that we can make here at the state. So it's a generic suggestion given by a professor, not applicable directly to us at the state. But I will definitely put it up at the GST Council meeting. I think just show that slide for the fiscal deficit. We just explain this one.
Again, I think keep it very brief, sir. The fiscal deficit, we have explained a couple of times to the media also. This 28% limit on FRBM is a very old limit which has been set. Now many states are trying to amend the FRBM itself, because what has happened is post-COVID, the last Finance Commission said that states can go fiscal deficit up to 4%. Previously it was only 3%. So which means both for all the states of the country and for the union government, the Finance Commission has allowed the states to go much higher fiscal deficit of about 4%. And that's what RBI allows us. And if you see the state's own fiscal deficit, so we are in the last 2 years, especially 23-24, so we are below the 4% number that is set. So basically, yes, it's a fact that our number is higher than 28. But if you just go to the table which compares all the states, just go to the states. It's 2 slides after this. Next, yeah, this one. So if you look at, we have compared the Himalayan and the northeastern state. Of the 8 states, except for Assam and Uttarakhand, nobody is under the 28. Everybody is at the 35-40 number. So we are at 36, but again the corrected one is 34. So point is, while our number may be higher than 28%, as you rightly said, but because of the Finance Commission allowing states in the last 4 years to borrow more, all states of the country, most states, if not all, because here also, as you can see, Assam and Uttarakhand are lower, most states have breached that 28% mark. That's number one. Just go to the next slide where we show the debt path. Next. Yeah. So this is a projection which we showed to the Finance Commission. So our expectation is that around by about 30, so the state's fiscal deficit debt to the debt as a percentage of GSDP should settle around 30%. And that is the amendment which most states are likely to bring soon to their FRBMs, because the 28% is unrealistic now. Because the Finance Commission has allowed everybody to go higher, and RBI has allowed everybody to go higher. Union government has gone higher. So I think that is where we are. So I would say that we are not at the best number, but we are at the level of most states.
Also, just go back 2 slides. More. Yeah, first this one. So here I think what Dr. Vijay has explained to all of you, that this number of 28%, which of course comes out in CAG report and all these things, yes, it's gone above, but you can clearly see from this chart that there are states which are at 44%, 42%, states that are at you have 38%, 42%, 44%, 41%, 46%. So it's something that happened because of the COVID that took place, the pandemic, where the states required that push for economic growth, and Government of India allowed states to move forward. So we didn't do something that was not allowed, and we're not the only ones who did it. Everybody did it because it required a stimulus. But CAG, of course, is mandated to mention those things as per the rules. They mentioned it. So this is the status of all the other states. Go back 1 slide. No, go back. Back? Yeah, this one. Now here, I think it's better to mention about the chassis. So now in this, now you're seeing this fiscal deficit again, which the CAG has mentioned in the, I think. Now this is a bit technical in nature, but some of you will have to just focus a bit more. Now there's this orange line, if you can see. This is the orange line which the CAG has now mentioned, saying that Meghalaya's fiscal deficit is at 5.9%. Now, why is it 5.9%? Let me just share with you. Now, Government of India had started a program or a scheme called SAS scheme, Special Assistance to State on Capital Investment. That's the full form of this. This is a scheme which is a 50-year long interest-free loan which government gets. Which means that if Government of Meghalaya today takes 1,000 crores, after 50 years, Government of Meghalaya has to repay 1,000 crores. Which means we all know that the value of 1,000 crore today is not going to be 1,000 crores 50 years from now. It's a very, very innovative scheme that Government of India has come out with. Now, it is a loan, but it is a interest-free 50. That means I take 1,000 crore today, and in 2025, I have to repay this back exactly 1,000 crore in 2075. So this is what this agreement is, or this particular program is. Now, the question is, should this be added to the debt of the state or not? Now, CAG was not given any direction from Finance Ministry whether this should or should not. But since it is coming under a loan component, Government of India, CAG, because no direction was given from center, included that loan component, that 50-year-old interest-free loan, which is technically not a loan in the sense that neither do you have to pay interest for it, and it will pay the same amount of principal 50 years from now. It's almost like a subsidy, you can say. And therefore, when we mentioned this to the Finance Minister, she agreed and she said that necessary instructions will be given to CAG to not include SASCI amount in the calculation of the debt to GSDP ratio. And therefore, once that happens, and if you were to minus SASCI amount from this entire total debt, we are actually at 3.5%. So what I'm trying to tell you is that CAG did what they had to do. They included the SASCI amount. Finance Ministry has not given instructions to CAG to not include it. They included it, and that's where it's showing our fiscal deficit at 5.9. But if you remove SASCI, which is a special assistance on states to capital and for capital investment on 50-year interest-free loan, our fiscal deficit based on the norms that are there is at 3.5%. So this is what the story is. And the number, of course, if you look at the chart, in 2021 has really spiked up. That, of course, was because of COVID. A lot of states took loan